Hey everyone, I'm Colleen with Awaken Catholic, and this is Awaken the Saint. Have you ever felt like you're up to your ears with work and you'll never get it all done no matter how hard you try? If so, you may find it easy to sympathize with the plight of St. Hugh of Grenoble, who was desperate to get away from his endless duties as a bishop. Hugh was born in France in the year 1052. Thanks to his parents, who were stout in their faith, and particularly his father, who eventually became a Carthusian monk, Hugh had a strong Catholic upbringing. After completing his education, and with flying colors no less, Hugh was given the position of canon in the Cathedral of Valence. He was technically not part of the clergy, but in that time it wasn't uncommon for promising young men to be given such a seat. Hugh proved himself capable, but very shy. Often he underrated his own abilities, but his meek manner quickly endeared him to those he worked with. In particular, the Bishop of D, who was visiting Valence, became very attached to Hugh. The bishop, trusting in his skills, assigned him to the difficult task of leading negotiations in a campaign against simony, that is, the buying and selling of church offices, which Hugh undertook with great success. He was so successful, in fact, that he was appointed to yet another challenging office, to become Bishop of Grenoble. Hugh wasn't keen on the idea, but after being unanimously elected to the position by so many delegates who had complete faith in him, he found it difficult to decline. In a flurry of activity, Hugh was made a priest, taken to Rome so he could be consecrated a bishop, and then rushed to his new diocese. When he arrived, he found his work cut out for him. Abuses of all kinds were happening in Grenoble, and it was entirely up to him to correct them. For 2 years, he pursued this goal, but found that he had hardly put a dent in many of the problems. Feeling defeated and convinced he was incompetent, Hugh retreated to a nearby abbey. He was only there for a short while before Pope Gregory contacted him, urging him to return to his flock in Grenoble. Hugh resumed his work at the Pope's command, and while he did a lot of good in his diocese, he remained plagued by the feeling that it was not enough and that he was unworthy of his position. He tried 3 separate times to resign his position, and each time his request was denied. The bishop continued to face many difficulties over the course of his life, but also left a great legacy. In 1084, he personally provided land to St. Bruno, which was used to establish the first Carthusian monastery. Hugh was fond of the Carthusian monks and spent a great deal of time with them as he advanced in age. Hugh's health steadily declined as he approached his 80s, and he spent his final days reciting the Lord's Prayer again and again without pause. He died in 1132 and was canonized by Pope Innocent II 2 years later. It wouldn't be a stretch to say that St. Hugh had a serious lack of confidence, but even if he didn't see it, the people around him recognized his potential. In difficult moments, if we can remind ourselves how much we've accomplished and how much we can still accomplish instead of focusing on our failures, it might be a little easier to pick ourselves up and keep going. St. Hugh of Grenoble, pray for us.